name is Aaron Guillory. I'm enrolled in environmental management in agricultural and natural resources. One of my favorite things to do with my family is to go on nature trails. Did you know our first national park was established in 1872? It is the Yellowstone National Park. It is located in Montana, Idaho, and Wyoming. It has over 2.2 million acres of protected land. With some history of Yellowstone National Park, in 1974, the gray wolves that roam the land were on the endangered list. Now, 2008, they were taken off the endangered list, but months later put back on the list. Now, currently, in Montana and Idaho, the endangered wolves were finally removed from the list, but in Wyoming, they still remain on the list. So today, I would like to inform you why national parks are very important. There's 4 major topics I like to discuss. First one is the environment, second, animals, third, plants, and last, us, humans. Now, I would like to go through each individual topic. First, environment. National parks help sustain our environment. In 1970, the Clean Air Act was established to allow the EPA to regulate emissions of hazardous air pollution. Now, in 1990, it was revised to allow 4 major threats to be reduced. This is the acid rain, urban air pollution, toxic air emission, as well as stratospheric ozone depletion. Now, on August 25th, 1916, President Woodrow Wilson passed the Organic Act. Okay, at this point, National Park Service was established to protect and preserve the national parks and monuments for further future and enjoyment. Second is the animals. National parks give a nice habitat for the animals. I was reading an article written by Kate Sider. It was a title called Coyote in the City. Justin Brown, an ecologist, was doing research on coyotes roaming the city. His research further supported that the environment can easily be overtaken by infrastructure if not carefully planned. Now, for example, some of us have been driving down the road in a very popular area and an animal dart across the road. This is why we have national parks, to allow safe habitat for the animals to live. All right, third is the plants. Plants and trees are preserved in national parks for the present and the future. Plants are very important to us as well as to all other living creatures. The native plants in the national parks provide food for all the animals. And the trees help decrease CO2 levels to later producing oxygen. National parks help preserve our plants and trees for the future to come. And lastly, we need national parks. This is a picture of my wife and I at the Great Smoky Mountains. National Geographic mentioned that in 2015, the most visited national park is the Great Smoky Mountains. They accounted for 10 million visitors. National parks are a great way to learn about the environment. If you're unfamiliar with national parks, they have tours for most national parks if you're unsure or just have never experienced it before. It's a great place to take individuals or a group of people or just families. National parks are very beneficial for all living creatures. To summarize, national parks contribute to our clean environment, provides a safe habitat for animals, helps improve the quality of life of plants, and improves humans' health and enjoyment. Lastly, polluted air is the fresh air, sadness is the happiness, stressful is the peaceful, dull is the vivid. National parks will open your eyes and minds to see life is all around. Doesn't matter if it's from the smallest baby fern growing to the largest redwood tree towering over the soil. It doesn't matter how small or big something is, all living things on earth matter. Thank you. Any questions?
Yeah, I have one. The study that you saw about the gray wolves still being on the endangered list in Wyoming, did they offer a reason why, or?
I didn't come across why they're having a hard time with endangered animal in Wyoming. I honestly don't know if it's from the source of food or the lack of the land space. I don't know if it's, I mean, it could be many other different reasons. I really don't know. Maybe a disease.
I've been there several times, and I just wonder maybe if, you know, forest fires wiped out their food source, or maybe it was animal migration. Or
It's possible. I know that the climate change, you know, has been mentioned that has been increased. So the climate change can affect the droughts or flooding, increased wildfires due to droughts. It is very possible that they have been deplenished from wildfires. The source of their food, their prey that they're hunting, they could locate somewhere else because of, you know, wildfire, take away their food. That's what I could come up with.
well, it makes sense.
Yeah.
I just wondered.
Okay, I got a question. I heard you talk about infrastructure.
Mm-hmm.
With the increase in population means that there has to be increase in infrastructure.
Right.
Now, I don't know, you said there's 58 national parks. Now, I don't know, were there more at one time? Would we see a decrease in national parks because of the growth in population, which means that the infrastructure has to grow to accommodate the growth in population?
I would say no, because the federal law has the the National Park Service
Right.
to stand for national parks.
But isn't
So
that-
the infrastructure has to be around all national parks. So if the population, yes, is increasing, but this just only means that we're gonna have to either upscale, like condos, you have to build from the bottom up. I know Texas has
Right.
got a lot of land, but Florida, for example, we're a tight space, so we have to remodel a lot. In Miami, they have to remodel more than build something.
I noticed there's more towers now
Right,
in
right.
Miami than I've seen than previous. So
Yeah.
I guess in Gainesville they'll probably have to resort to building.
Eventually, they'll have to either remodel an old building, take it down, and put something new, or go up with it.
So the protection on the national parks, is this on an act that means it's for so many years, or is this forever? Like,
This has been going on since the 1970, the Clean Air Act, and
Right.
then the 1990, it was further revised by George W. Bush. And he signed and passed on 4 different reasons why he wanted to increase the environment's health to benefit us, Americans living, you know, so.
right, okay.
National Park Service also is there to regulate as well. That was started in 1917 as well.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Can you? I'm sorry. Can you hunt and fish in?
You're allowed to certain areas, but you have to definitely have a fishing license or a hunting license. I know that the Great Smoky Mountains, they allowed you to fish certain areas. They had designated areas where you could do that. You have to get a fishing license, and like I said, fishing designated areas. Hunting, I haven't looked into that. I'm not a big hunter, but fisherman I am, but I'm not sure about the hunt.
Yeah, it's very good. We are just close to a national park or something.
We have state parks that are close by. I know there's the Sweetwater Park that's on Wilson. It's very nice. It shows a very interesting habitat and a way to recycle the city water. They use the water to flow through the Paynes Prairie. It's pretty interesting. We went with my family a couple times.
Yeah, but I think we also have here close to the national park or something because I saw deer.
Back here?
Yes.
Oh, well, yeah, there's a couple deer in the backyard.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I saw a couple of them myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're our neighbors.
Yeah, because one day I walk around
Yeah.
and they say national park or something.
Oh, the
Yeah,
trail
it's
back there?
very protected.
It's protected
Yeah.
land, so that way nobody can build or anything on it for the animals.
So is there a distance from where the border of a national park is? Is there a distance from that border that cannot be built on?
Can you repeat that again? The board.
Well, I know, you know, national parks, they're gonna have a boundary.
Right.
Where the
Oh, I
animals
see.
are within that are gonna be protected.
I see.
But obviously, the animals can't read the sign that says "stay inside the park."
Right. Totally.
You know,
Totally understand.
which is why we
What
see
they-
them walking around. But is there
Yeah.
is there a distance beyond their borders that we're not building on to give them room for expansion, or are
Yeah.
they limited just to that
What
boundary
happens-
that they have?
Yeah, what happens is they do a continual process of monitoring the animals where they happen to nest or roam the lands for the health and protection of the animals. Yeah, you're right. They don't know boundaries, but the park service staff members do understand that if they roam in different parts, they will consider extending the national park to a certain extent. So that's why they have it probably extended further than what it usually is, just to further prevent that happening. Like, say, a bald eagle in the backyard. If they find bald eagles, for example, in Pensacola, bald eagles actually are across the bay from my parents' house, and this is all protected land because they spotted that animal, that bird. So then they actually made that a national park to for their protection. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Good.
Thank you.
All right.
Very good.
Thank you. Candy.
How many?
Where's my
Still
tree?
rolling.
Yeah.